Who cares?
Yeah. Oh, it's at 10. You want to go?
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
All right.
Okay. So it's been a number of months or years, or it doesn't matter. This whole time and space thing just doesn't matter anymore. So let's just say you pick it. You viewer of this Kylego, whoever you are, even if it's just me and Rita, pick the time and date in your mind because it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go in the future to a time where this new paradigm that is just blows the doors open, and that is so much better than these systems of achievement and these paradigms of like, to be an entrepreneur you have to be so driven, you have to be this and this and this, and here's another tool for you to achieve, here's another class for you to achieve, here's another certification for you to get. That is just this trick. It is total facade. It is an illusion. Because now in this time, as we're evolving and as we're going forward and as we have gone forward, the greatest gift that we have now is the gift of who we are in this interdimensional self, this interdimensional, multi-time, multi-dimension person, being, embodiment that spans what our belief is. If our belief is that we go on lifetime after lifetime, we are going on lifetime after lifetime. That we believe that we're going to a great heaven away from this earth. We're going to this great heaven, and that is this gift that has been given to us. Is this free will gift that's been given to us is just massive, massively more than we can ever imagine. Why would we ever, ever, ever want to just go into that paradigm of I'm going to achieve and achieve and achieve, and then I'm going to get quiet so that I can achieve, so that I can get quiet, so that we can just exhaust ourselves and be in that. Now, at this time, I mean, it's even hard to explain it because the more doors that you open in your heart, in your mind, in your being, I just want to be quiet about it. And even in that space of just being quiet, it's almost like I transcend the excitement of it. I let myself be quiet now to open doors, doors of awareness, doors of my inner prosperity, my inner self, my inner being, to know that there's not a lot of separation, where we can actually play with this real quantumness, the real quantumness of, apart from what systems tell us, what science tells us, what our money system tells us, and that we really, if we really truly are always creating and being from this inner space of ourselves that's opened up doors and unlocked things in our life from being very quiet, these things will naturally come out of us. It isn't a struggle, it's a natural process. You can wake up one day and be an artist. You can wake up one day and paint and do it. And then the universe can support you. You can wake up the next day and understand that you have another purpose, and you can fulfill that. And just to know that you can wake up each morning, you can go into your dreams and be a dream traveler and a dream helper. And there are now networks on the internet, which is totally blown up now, about dream traveling. And people are supporting each other being dream travelers. And with these systems of, people are actually like, I mean, people open their wallet books. It's affordable for everyone, and yet it feeds people. And it saves people's lives. That's the big thing too now. It's like, it's not just like a sales thing. Sales is like totally out the window now. Like, people know when they're being sold to. They know that in this paradigm, it's like, okay, does it feel good? Does it help people? Does it save my life? Does it create abundance just naturally? And that totally does not even compare with this whole entrepreneurial mindset of like being a person who stays up and works 18 hours a day on a business, struggle, push, get this certification, this degree, get this external thing. We don't need this external thing anymore because we realized years ago that we were the ones that we were waiting for already, and that we had everything that we needed. We'd created enough that we could be quiet if we needed to be, and we still need to be, but we don't have to stay in that system. And therapists started losing money, artists started thriving, the medical establishment had to change because they were seeing so much of the value of this, and it was almost incredible how this alternative space has now become, mainstream enough, but it's not like quote mainstream, because it's like and like people who self-select themselves out of it, they know, oh, this is just not for me. It's like this polarization that was happening in like 2018, 2017 totally set us up to like be this rebound, to like show the way. And we needed this polarization because it really helped some of us go on this way, and then some of us really to get quiet and go inward, and to realize that there are no borders or boundaries, there are no conventions. These are illusions of the mind. Conventions are just a dream inside a secret that we know that we can unlock because we have everything we need. And that is kind of a new kind of abundance. When we have that kind of abundance, we don't need like the 5 or 6 bedroom house. I mean, my goodness. And some people joke and think that we're off in monasteries, but we're not. We're everywhere. We have so many different ways of living, but yet at the core, we know how we can connect to one another. It's just kind of a really unspoken thing. When someone is so quiet, you can recognize it in them. When they've like done this work to be so innerly quiet that all these other conventions have fallen away. And so a lot of people in our online communities have talked about this. They recognize right away, you're an inner quiet person. And, and it just blossoms from there. So a lot of times we just talk about getting quiet, or we just sort of like say, let's get together and dream. And it's beautiful. This is a beauty that it goes beyond this whole idea of we have to shift in something new to achieve and fill auditoriums and oh my gosh, we can fill auditoriums if we want to. It's really easy. Do we want to? That's such a reach. That's a box. It's a box with seats. Let's skip the box with seats. We don't need it. And we don't. So it's quantum jumps are easy. It's the other stuff that's hard because we struggle. Quantum jumps just take us time. We have to wait for them, and we get them. So it's a big thing. We're not afraid of leaving this earth. So many of us, we like grief groups are totally different now. We're not afraid of death. We realize that this whole society, this country, this Western culture has this really weird idea of death, and it's just a doorway. And it's when we're not afraid of death, we get to play. Just play, and we realize that we're going to play throughout any sort of like afterlife, interdimensional life, whatever. And we realize that like our whatever play we do now goes on and affects other people, and whether we know it or not. And the not knowing is awesome. So, and to quote a phrase, we love that.
Yeah.
We love not knowing. We love the mystery because we get to wake up every day and discover who we are. We discover more parts of who we are. We don't discover that we're an entrepreneur. We discover that we are beings that can change the world, that can change the trajectory of the human race.
Right. Good.
That is huge. That's much bigger than this whole, idea of being self-employed or entrepreneur, or this category of a person, whether you're an artist or a this or a that or a this. We all do these things.
Yes. Good.
I don't know what just came out of me.
Yeah, you're going to listen to this one.
My sermon.
Mm-hmm. Good one. Hallelujah.
Woo! I like that kind of revival. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, tense. Revival tense. There we go.
Right.
I'm going to listen to this one. This will be on a DVD. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Okay. I think I should supercharge that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Here I go. Okay. So Scott and I had this incredible conversation back in 2018. And from there, he just went into this, he started living heaven now. And, here he was right in front of us. We could all see him, but we could all see that he was not of this earth. We could all feel it. And it's not like he had to explain anything or show or teach or anything. He just, there was just something different about him. And it wasn't, there was like business became a concept. It was just a concept. It wasn't a thing anymore. And his activities, just your activities, just that's all they were actions. They weren't business related. They were life related, and they do affect everyone around you. So you were kind of ahead of the game because you understand the tech side of the internet better than a lot of people. And so it was just like after that conversation we had, just like light bulb, and you started to see the cosmic internet and how it worked. And you started making cosmic landing pages, and people started showing up there, and they didn't even know how they got there. But you were having so much fun that you, in your spare time and in your quiet, you were designing these cosmic landing pages that didn't require a mouse or an internet connection or paying a Comcast or any other parasitic company to connect in. And people were finding you, and a lot of them would find you in their sleep, and there would be these offerings on this cosmic landing page, and people would opt in the cosmic way, and then they would bring it back to their earthly life, and everything would change around them. And because they had connected with you in spirit and sleep and in the cosmos, they would on Earth find their way around to your internet landing page. And so that whole connection started to grow to, like, it would started turning into a community. And it wasn't that people needed to understand how it all worked. You had it set up that just that going to your internet landing pages, it would suddenly download that feeling they had in their sleep connection with you. And that's all that was needed. So, maybe you were writing a little short book, or you were just doing a video, or it didn't matter what the thing was that they could point at on the earth. And then they would say, oh, this is just so great. And I just feel totally grounded now. And go here, because you'll get that from Scott. And people were working with you. We call it coaching because we're on earth and that's what the word that people understand. But they really were searching for that feeling that they had in their spirit when they worked with you on that cosmic level. So that just, and there was no promoting, there was no chasing, there was no marketing, there was no entrepreneurial anything. It was just the natural ways of the universe were at work.
Ooh. That's kind of fun. I like how you got that into like the whole futuristic dream internet space.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
A cosmic landing page that you find in your dream.
Right.
That's an amazement.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, I better figure out quick how to do that. How to create that.
Well, I have total faith in you.
Okay. All right. So maybe I'll just start talking about it. Like cosmic pages.
Right.
Or I'll find one in my meditation.
Or just assume that the ones you're creating that you already know about are cosmic ones.
Ooh. Okay. I am totally watching this one like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I don't know what my subject is. It seemed like I was thinking of one a little bit ago, but I know this was an important conversation that we had in March. And there was so much packed into it, so many subjects, so many layers, so many universes in this one conversation. And it just, we just kept going with it. Like, I started the call being irritable and grumpy because of this old paradigm thing was like knocking on my back door, and I just wanted to tell it to go away. And Scott gave me permission. Just don't do that old thing. And so I felt totally okay with it. And out of that conversation came the idea that I've lived my life doing what it seems like everybody. I don't know. I guess it's not everybody, but what people talk about, they wish they could do. They wish they could paint. They wish they could write. I'm so lucky, and I've always felt grateful that I have been able to do that. But I have dreams too, and I decided in that conversation that I want heaven now. And I don't know that if in heaven I'll be painting pictures. And I don't know why I would need to, because everyone can just go and experience and be filled up by whatever is surrounding them. And it might be that there are different levels of the afterlife, and that like it might still be my purpose on the other side to escort people into the new sphere, into the new realm, as they work through their stuff and figure out that they actually want to be in a different space than the one they believe, the reality they believe is the only one there is. And so I in my quiet, like, I almost got obstinate about, well, I already was obstinate about my quiet and not doing what everyone says you have to do. And that's almost like part of the uniqueness that God made me, is that, oh, you're doing it this way, I am going to do it exactly the opposite. And I don't care what all of you say, I'm going to show you that you can do it the opposite way. Or a totally different way. It's not even opposite, just a way that doesn't exist in your reality. And I began to understand how to harness the energy of my creations. And it started with understanding that I have this bank vault of security here in my studio, this savings account, this artistic savings account, and that's my so-called retirement plan. My pension is right here. And I'm the only one who could feel secure in that. Other people would continue chasing and hustling to build up their money bank account. And I really began to understand the cosmic currency. So while Scott was doing his cosmic landing pages, I was harnessing the flow of cosmic energy and currency to so that because it financed the travels of people moving from one realm to another, and my guidance of people from one realm to another. And so painting and writing, it was more the writing that helped people in that transition and showed them the way. And the painting was for fun, again, just like when I was a kid. And I almost reverted to that little girl who felt like that my existence just, probably most kids, hopefully most kids feel this, that they're just there and they're there to learn and they absorb everything. And my eyes got really these dark brown pools of observing, like they were when I was a kid. And people were willing to accept my guidance just because of that quiet and serene and sure feeling that I put off. gave off, and that paradox of quiet, serene, but this cosmic currency swirling around me. So it was like they wanted that, but they also just felt really calm in it. And that that has become clear, that my purpose is, so my purpose as being an artist was to do the opposite of everyone else, how everyone goes about making their life secure, and seeing that, and as we talked about in that conversation, our Monster Hall of Fame, collecting my monsters, were also about understanding the cosmic currency and the flow of energy. And so that, I could just see the purpose of everything after that conversation. And I became really confident and sure in my decisions, and feeling my way through every action I was going to take. And that's really all anybody wants anyway, is that sense of certainty. And so it's like I didn't even have a title anymore, an identity. I didn't even say I am a guide, or people just, it was just like I went outside to see who was in the neighborhood and who was going to play today. And that's how my purpose gets fulfilled these days. And some days I stay in and do my own stuff. It just all flows naturally, and there's no business plan, and there's no social media blasts, and there's no promoting or hustling, and like I donate every day, so the community has just sort of forgotten to ask me to donate any art to their causes anymore. They understand or they don't even fully understand it. I'm just here, and they accept and benefit. Whether they recognize the benefit or not is not necessary. But oh God. That was strangely uplifting and painful at the same time.
Oh. Well, that's a beautiful thing then. So the messy middle.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh my word.
All right, I can supercharge you.
Okay.
That was great.
Great. Go ahead.
So after Rita and I had that talk in 2018 March, a lot of shifts happened for her, and it was these were quiet shifts, and it was really quiet, but quiet but profound. And she started playing with the idea of identity, and just the whole shedding of the idea of identity, and of she'd always been talking about like this idea of like, I quit, I'm done. I'm just going to get quiet, and I'm going to do the opposite of this. And, it was totally from an authentic place. It wasn't contrary, because she wasn't throwing it out to the world saying, nana, nana, I'm doing opposite. She just did it. And, that was just really kind of cool. It's been cool to see Rita these last few years just really absorb the quiet and really absorb it to the point where she words it, and it's okay. I think it's a beautiful thing where sometimes it's like you get quiet enough that like words are just inadequate. They're so inadequate. And when Rita speaks about these things, she has to go back into the struggle of words, and I laugh now when I see it because I recognize it. A lot of folks don't quite get it, even to this day still, but spend enough time and actually I've learned to like listen to the gaps and listen to the quiet. And when those happen, her eyes light up and she's seeing and observing and just sitting in that quiet again. It's like she has to return. She is showing us all the, like, when we can't find the words, it's like it's time to get quiet, and then you just like search inside. So that's a lesson that I've learned from her throughout this process. It's like these words are just so inadequate. We can't find them, just go inside. And then maybe you'll find them, maybe you won't. You just find a feeling. And that's what the point of it is. So in her art is part of her, but she's not identified by it. It's her play. It's her thing to do. And some people still don't get it, but those of us who are in the know really, really get it so tremendously. She has kind of become this cosmic plane walker more than a lot of us. She's so much more on that evolution space than we are, who try to find the words, who try to find the meaning to throw out. And when we have to like go back to that idea that like these words are just, they don't mean anything. It's just we're throwing it against the wall for other people. And so I think that's what Rita has done too, is she has really embodied this life of walking out. And it's great. And so I can show up either on video or to see her in person or however, and I can just discover the Rita that's today. And it's just amazing. And that changes from day to day. And I can be the me of today with Rita. It's total permission to be the me of today because she embodies that. And the me of today wants to bring my crayons over and color. I'll bring my crayons over, and she'll be like, okay. We don't have to say anything about it. There's just no argument. That's the kind of the show up and just be amazed at just whatever you discover, because we're all discovering who we are that day. And Rita is happy now just discovering who she is every day. And there are things that she always just like, okay, the community, she actually psychically knows when her community is going to need her art, and she's like, and she's in the flow. She's like, she called a place like, I kind of got a feeling that you might need like a piece of my artwork, so I just thought I'd cut you off at the pass. And what's the next thing coming up for you? You need a painting for me to supply or hang or whatever, or and it's just this trust. And people are like, she shows up in really strange ways and strange times, but she seems to know when we need her the most. And folks are happy and giddy about that, but they're sometimes like perplexed. And then Rita goes home and just sort of laughs in her studio and then goes back to being her quiet self.
Oh, good.